Hey guys, Brian here with the Forest Farm Project. Wanted to show you guys a neat way to put an edge back on a blade. A lot of you probably know about it, some of you probably don't. And it's a really simple way to do it. In our time out here clearing, we have really worked these parangs. We've worked mattocks, axes, anything with a blade on it. It's going to get dull out here when you're working. You're going to hit rocks, you're going to just hit hardwood, and it's going to roll the edge over. You don't want to put a super fine edge on things that's razor sharp because that edge is so thin it just rolls right over when it hits anything hard. Well, you just want a good working edge on it. What we've found to work really well for us is a little bit of Lansky honing oil and a Lansky puck. It's a dual-sided puck, and on this side, the lighter side, which is hard to tell right now because it's a really heavily used puck, the lighter side is 280 grit and the darker side is 120 grit. You can usually figure out, if you can't tell by the color, you can hit the chamfered area and you can feel a definite smoothness between the two sides. The coarser side is going to be the one you want to start with, and then you want to work your way to the finer side. So I'm going to show you guys what this thing will do. As you guys can see, this edge is very, very worn. There's a lot of nicks in it, a lot of rolled edges, and definitely in need of some care. So with a parang, the best part to hit is this meatier portion. That's where you're going to get your most effective cuts. So now the way to work this puck is, we're going to take the dark side, we're going to put a drop of oil and just smooth that around. Always keep a rag handy to wipe your excess oil off. And now you want to grab the sides of the puck and just start going in a circular motion. The nice thing about this puck having the edges up like it does in this chamfered area is you're close to 3/8 of an inch higher than your cutting surface. So as long as you keep your fingers back on that edge, you're good. You just keep going in a circular motion. You want to work one side completely, then work the other side, and then come back and do it again. You want to maintain a constant angle when you're doing this. By maintaining a constant angle, you don't have to worry about working out any irregularities in your blade. As you guys can see, this is already getting nice and shiny. It's really working it back. Like I said, in the meaty area is where the most striking goes on, so that's where the most nicks and curls are. That's going to take the most work to work it out. And you definitely want to brace against something solid while you're doing this so the blade's not working all over. You don't want to get in a rush with this. You want to take your time. I find it to be almost therapeutic sharpening a blade because it gives me time to get away from what I was doing and focus on a menial task and just relax a little bit. That's looking a heck of a lot better. Let's flip it over and work the other side some. I'm going to apply another drop of oil. Wipe it off my finger. Getting this stone wet just really helps it cut better. Now when you see a lot of heavy nicks in your blade, you will have to take a lot of meat off of that blade in order to completely get rid of them. When there's not that many, I'll leave them. I don't want to take that much metal off the blade, and over time you will work them out as you sharpen it more and more. This is just a beater tool. I use it on chopping and cutting. It's nothing, you know, just heavy stuff. It's not a fine working tool. So as long as 95% of the blade is pretty sharp, I'm happy with it. It's going to do the job it needs to do. So let's switch over and do the fine side, and I'll show you how nice it smooths it up. Okay, so let's put a drop of oil on this bad boy. Get that worked into it. And now let's smooth this blade up. You can tell a big difference in the sound between the coarse and the fine. And yes, for the safety Nazis, I probably should be wearing gloves, but I get a much better feel for what I'm doing when I do this barehanded. Don't you dare do what I'm doing. You wear gloves. Okay, let's flip it over and do the other side. Apply another drop of oil. And let's finish this bad boy up. Actually, I'm gonna take some of the oil off of this blade so I don't get it on my pants. Okay, I am gonna look at it and just see what I think of it. I think it's looking pretty good. I do wanna just fine tune it up close where I can see it. That little tip at the end is always a booger, which it's not really crucial. This isn't something I'm stabbing with. It's just a chopping tool. But one thing to keep in mind is when you're sharpening a blade of any kind, you're going to have a bevel at some point where the blade starts to roll down to the fine edge. And that's what you want to follow with your puck or file or whatever you're using to sharpen. You want to maintain that bevel, because if you change that angle, it's going to throw the whole system off and it's going to be a royal pain to fix. So make sure you follow that bevel the whole way, all the way through. And it takes a little bit of work to get used to that angle, but once you get used to it, it's not a big deal. And the key thing is consistency. If you're off a little bit, but you're always off, at least it's going to be consistently off and you'll have a uniform angle that you're used to. So just whatever you do, repeat it over and over and over. But enough talking, let's go see how it does. Okay, so ultimately this sweet gum is definitely coming out. We don't like sweet gums, we don't want it close to the driveway, so I can chop on it and it's not going to be a problem. So I'm going to take a few limbs off and show you how it does. Like a hot knife through butter. A good sharp blade means everything out here on the property. I mean, if you've got a dull blade or something that's worn and chipped, it's going to wear on your shoulders, your back, everything as you're chopping or swinging, splitting, whatever throughout the day. So it's worth taking the time to sharpen whatever you're using. I'm really grateful for Lansky putting out a great product. I mean, we use it all the time. We're not sponsored by them or anything. We have no affiliation, but it's just something we found that works really well. It's easy to throw in a pack or in a toolbox, whatever, and you've got it right there. So hopefully this helps you guys in sharpening your equipment on your farm, on your property, wherever you're at. And if you like what you see, give us that big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button below. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button if you want to get notifications when we post new videos. And check us out on Instagram and Facebook, link below. Have a good one, guys.